Hello, welcome back. Guess who is on full speed today? Full volume, full capacity. Yeah, I also look like I'm naked, so if my hair does one of these throughout the video, just remind me. Today we're trying something a little bit different. This is kind of a test to see if this is even something that resonates with y'all or anybody. I don't know. But I've been getting a couple of boxes in the mail from Stylovana of K-beauty and J-beauty stuff. And I have yet to dig into it. It just kind of falls to the back of my priorities because I'm so honestly unfamiliar with the brands. And I see friends of mine, like Amanda specifically, doing K-beauty, J-beauty try-on hauls all the time, as you know, from Yes Style and stuff like that too. But I have very seldom actually dipped into the whole space myself. So I have not a full face of stuff. I don't think that there's a complexion product in here. They didn't try and skin tone match me, but there's a bunch of other stuff. Also, I don't know. I just feel there should be a disclaimer that this is one of those videos where there's gonna be a really high likelihood that y'all know more about these products than I do. So just pardon my bimboism as I'm kind of poking through and going, what is it? You know what I mean? It's not a referendum on the products themselves. It's completely a referendum on me and my inexperience with these brands. So let's go ahead and jump in. I need a blade. Or I can just rip this thing. I can just rip it. Grip it and rip it. Yes, khaki is on the full paid version today. So I'm gonna start here with a new sunscreen. This is the Madagascar Centella Air Fit Sunscreen. Nope, sun cream, but when you've already said sunscreen and it says ream, you're like, sunscreen! And it is henceforth sunscreen. SPF 50 PA++++. I don't know what Centella is. That's the whole thought. I don't know what Centella is. I should probably Google it. I have a lot of eyeshadows and a lot of blushes. I'm not really sure how much of a broad experience we're going to get with the products today, but ooh, she's tinted-ish. Okay, it has a smell, but I don't think it's a fragrance. It's just a smell. Is it gonna change colors or is it gonna be like that? I have to admit, that is a strong smell. It's kind of making me want to not breathe. Wow. And it's not unfamiliar. It's just stronger than usual. It's kind of overwhelming my nose a little bit. I don't know about that. Okay, let's rub her in. Y'all missed it because, well, I kept it on close friends stories because it was truly embarrassing, but I had a color theory risk and not reward moment where I went to get my nails done and I picked this jelly nail color that was this really pretty kind of citrusy peach, and when it got on it was this sick glittery orange and I was like, what have I done? It just looked so bad. I put it on close friends and Jason from Phytosurgeons was like, it looks like salmon nigiri, and I'm like, in a good way? And he was like, I think that it looks cool. Then Ted explained to me what a sister slay is, or a sister serve, which is you have to bring your friends in to verify and assist that yeah, that's actually a serve. And then I was like, I'm going home and I'm painting my nails. Oh no, goodbye. I guess that's all the sunscreen I'm putting on because that's on the floor now. But needless to say, I couldn't stand it. And I came home and I put this on my nails and I'm over the moon. This is the first color that wasn't just a pearly clear or whatever that I have had in months, and it's giving me life. It's giving me life, especially as much as I've been loving wearing peach lately. So again, that is I really don't know about the smell, y'all. It's a lot. It's just really a lot. I don't know. It's a chemical smell, you know, that's just very, very pungent for me. But I also apparently, you know, have very strong sensitive senses just across the board. You know, we've talked about the extra cones in my eyes. We've talked, well, I don't know if we've talked about my super taster abilities. It's kind of my party trick. I'm that person who can taste the notes in the wine or the notes in the coffee or whatever, but it has its downsides. I always order dessert. I love dessert. And when I was in DC with Steph, Beauty and Hyped, and Natalie of My Skin Trust, I ordered some vanilla ice cream, but it was vanilla custard ice cream. It was it was made out of IPA. I needed to just get it out of my senses as fast as I could. I hated it, and they both just had absolutely no designs on ordering dessert, and they both picked up a spoon and took a bite of it, and they were like, I love it. I think it's great. It's a little salty. It's got a lot of nuance to it. I was like, I cannot tolerate it. Like I can't tolerate it. So anyway, there's a really good chance that someone else might not find this smell like to be too much, but it is just like kind of stinging my eyes a lot. That's the review on that. Also, I mean, it lightened my skin. That's going to be, it's a pretty finish, but like it's gonna show up like a white cast on just about anybody. It's a white cast on me. I like that it did kind of blur imperfections and stuff, but other than that, I don't know that it's necessarily going to like translate across the board. Oh, and then I also have a primer. So this is the Peach Glow primer, I believe. I think they just call it a makeup base. I didn't put this on, but I swatched it because I wanted to see what it was like, and it's kind of like pearly and it's very pretty, but it is wow scented. It is wow scented like peach. It really smells like, ooh, I love it though. Like it's so like iridescent. I don't know if you can see that. Like, yeah. Ew, I love that. It's like something nostalgic about it, but yeah. If you've ever used the Function of Beauty peach scent, if you've ever opted for that, that's what this smells like. And I feel like my skin is just getting lighter and lighter. Not that that's a bad thing, but it is if it's like not matching my body anymore, you know? I also think that rubbing this many things in that are translucent is going to make my skin go a little bit pink temporarily until we get complexion product on. And so that's also, it's making it look kind of cool toned by comparison, but yeah. That already feels like a lot on my face. It just feels like a lot. It feels kind of like, you know, sticky and emollient and not soupy, you know? Maybe that was a lot of the primer that I used, but I don't know, it's bouncy, it's nice. I'm always complaining about my skin being dry. It certainly doesn't feel dry right now. Also, I was just talking about how I woke up to clear skin, and then I had this like whopper that I took care of, and I put one of those like Hero Cosmetics, those spiky zit sticker things on there last night, and it's flat, but it's mad. Let's see how my normal, you know, what my complexion routine has been like lately behaves like on top of this. I think that that's actually pretty valuable. If every single thing was new, then we might not get an idea of like what changed, you know? So I'm gonna just zoom through this because boy, I really thought it would be faster last time, but I explained the heck out of it and it wasn't faster at all. But yeah, I'm gonna do my foundations and my bronzer and my contour all in one go and then blend it all together. So I'm gonna zoom through that. Some powders and stuff soon, but let's go ahead and crack open some of these little things. So I've got, like I said, a lot of blushes here. I have Juicy and Pang blusher, and the shade is a Pew. I'm so sorry. That means something in another language. It just doesn't mean anything in my dummy dum brain. So that is a beautiful pinky shade. Let's just swatch these as we go. How about that? It's a nail polish. Okay, is it a nail polish? It did say blush, didn't it? Okay, blusher. Okay, I just don't want to put nail polish on my face. I told y'all, this is gonna be embarrassing for me. Wow, that's a beautiful color. Look at that. So, if y'all follow Hindash, actually, I'm not sure if it was on, not sure if it was on his regular account or on his private account, but he was in Japan and he was like makeup shopping and just finding the coolest stuff. Blue blush and like gray things and like just the wildest stuff that like they would never be on a display in the United States, you know, especially like in like the drugstore or something. Cool stuff. And so, I don't know. I'm just optimistic that these colors are going to be a little bit off the beaten path for me. Maybe pleasantly surprise me. And by pleasantly surprised, I don't mean that I'm, you know, aiming to be disappointed here. Why is everything in God's green earth sticking to my nose right now? I don't expect to be disappointed. I just don't know anything. So it's all going to surprise me. I hope that the surprise is pleasant. Okay, then we have, what is this? Better Than Cheek WO2 Strawberry Milk. Well, I'm a fan of strawberry milk just as a concept. Big fan. Ooh, okay, that is so pale. Awesome. Ooh, and it's really silky. Look at there. Wow, what in the what? It looks like a setting powder, but it's a blush. So that's fun. Then we have this little palette here that's by a brand called Amuse, and it also has a blushing blush and a peach glow. So this is also very, very fair, but it's a lot warmer. It's like a peach color instead of a, you know, dead on the nose pink. And a lot of their shimmers, at least the ones that were sent to me, are like very subtle shimmers. And that's also a very subtle blush. It's like almost my skin tone. Do you see that? Wow. And then I have this little powder here. This is by the brand Skin Food, and it's just, I need to pull the little dealy bobber off of there. Come on, dealy bobber. Love is an open door. Y'all, we just moved on to Frozen 2, and thank God, because there's actual characters and plot line, and the songs are not just brutally bad. I joked with my friend Rachel because we went from watching Moana just over and over and over again to, God, I went on vacation. I went to DC and I came back and they were on Frozen. Like, they're just the original Frozen. This is just really a project. Everything is just so bite-sized. Yeah, they were on Frozen and I was like sitting there watching it and I was like, I would like to, unproblematically, get Lin-Manuel Miranda drunk and just watch him roast this movie, because the songs are so bad if you have been just steeped in Moana for like a month. I just really hope that that's like not a problematic thing to say, like that he doesn't have like alcohol problems or something, but like regardless, I would like to get him delirious enough that he would like roast that movie. And I don't know him personally, so abstractly I think that would be funny. So anyway, this is a setting powder that is white and I just spent a long time opening it, but now it's open, so we don't have to do that again. And what else have I here? We have a mascara from a brand called rom&nd. I'm thinking it's just rom&nd. And we have a waterproof pencil liner, sharp, so simple, a 2mm. You gotta love it when a makeup brand puts like the measurement of the pencil on there. Like, that's a very art supply kind of thing to do. It's like a micron or something, you know, but is that. And then there's also another mascara. So this is this is a super proof mascara, whatever that means, but either way, brand is Clio. We'll see which one we like. And let's start putting some blush on, shall we? I say we start with that really weird cool toned one, like the really, really cool toned pink, and then see where we get from there. Maybe we'll end with the liquid. Maybe we'll put all of them on. Let's find out together. So again, this is that brand rom&nd. I'm terribly sorry. I'm terribly sorry to everyone involved. So I'm taking my BK 104, which needs to be washed. It's picked up kind of a lot of gunk. I'm actually gonna go for something else. I'm gonna go for BK 102, which is risky because it's huge, but whatever. Yeah, it's pastel. Like, it's there on me, you know, it's there, but like it's acting as much like a setting powder as it is a blush. Now, part of me is almost thinking that there's some kind of like pH color adjuster in there, because it is starting to go a little bit pinker than anything that you can see in the pan. So I don't hate it. It's behaving very much like a setting powder, and I think now we go in with the peachy one and just see what we get. Peach is a strong word, isn't it? It's so pale, it's almost just cream. And we're getting setting powder. That's what we're getting. We're getting setting powder on my cheeks. I don't know what I was expecting. It starts to bend the mind, you know, just like, oh, it's a blush. Wait a second. They're all just colored powders. Once we get to a certain kind of desaturated opacity, we end up with a very pretty setting powder. We are maybe not aligning with my passion for blush at this moment. Like, that's just kind of not where we're at. So I'm going to use the highlighter before I go in with this Juicy and Pang liquid blush that I think is maybe hopefully going to give us what we need. But I do want to use the highlighter because I think it's cute. And it's actually rare that you come across highlighters that are pretty subtle, you know, in like US markets. And all of these shimmers, even though they look really, you know, cute and spangly in the pan, they seem pretty chill. Yeah, like that's chill. I like that. I wish all highlighters were like that. Although it's kind of want to like kind of grab a little bit on like the moisture that's on my cheeks. Yeah, I like the opacity level of it. I like the, you know, the kind of lack of sparkle, but the rest of it is kind of, I mean, this is a difficult part of my cheek anyway. You know, it's like kind of hard to judge because my face bends there in ways that, and I also think that like, you know, being a mammal, things just tend to gather there on like the micro hairs. And you know what the issue is when people talk about like shaving their faces and stuff, sometimes I'll go to my esthetician and she will do like the little face shaving maneuvers in order to get the actives into the blemishes and stuff like that. And God bless her, it really helps. And I won't tell her not to, but then the makeup won't stick in those spots because they're bald. So you win some, you lose some, don't you? I feel like we have traveled as far as we can on the peach and pink blushes that were sent to me. They are very pretty. They're very, very pretty. I like them, but y'all know how I feel about blush, and we're about to put this nail polish on my cheeks right now because I want some pow, you know? So I put it on the back of my hand and I'm using my BK112 for this. I'm hoping, fingies crossed, oh boy, that this it behaves a lot like maybe like the NARS liquid blushes or something, you know, how you can kind of put them on top of anything, because, you know, we're working with a pretty like slushy base of sunscreen and primer, and then powders, and then this. So far, so good. Ooh! It also is peach scented. We are in a peach scented mood today. It smells exactly like the primer. And I don't think that there's primer on this brush or that part of my hand. Okay, I mean, that is easy to work with, and it is a pretty, pretty pink, and it's giving my skin kind of a nice, like, dried down texture, you know? It's kind of still staying a little bit dewy looking, and it's building my confidence a little bit to put a little more on. It doesn't dry down super fast, and I find that it kind of behaves a little bit more agreeably than the NARS does, in the sense that like it'll kind of stay moving around a little bit longer, and the brush keeps a little bit of the remnant on it. That was not the case with the NARS. I'm gonna grab a little bit of this Bare Minerals powder. It's a little dark for me, but it works pretty well as just kind of like an emergency moment on a blemish, and then I can kind of touch it up with regular powder after the fact. But it's sort of like, do you see that? I mean, it's darker, yes, but like I'll just let it cook for a second and then I'll go over it with regular powder or bronzer or whatever, and it'll be fine. I don't know how I discovered this, and I'm really not sure that it's like a completely foolproof, works every time kind of situation, but it's just makeup. All right, so we have this setting powder. And I think that that's the next step here. You know, they come with these cute little puffs, and I just don't know how I feel about that, because that's gonna lay down a lot of product. So I think I'm just gonna tippy tap this out. The brand on this is, again, Skin Food 1957. I don't know if this was literally founded the year my mother was born, but if it was, I don't know. That's kind of impressive. Skin Food. All right, here we go. I'm gonna start down here. Why is everything scented? Oh my God, this smells like candy. Candy. I've listened to that song like 800 times because when I do a reel, seriously y'all, this smells like pixie sticks. Like it feels like I'm putting pixie sticks on my face because it smells like it and it looks like it. That's really strange. Ooh, but it's like kind of nice, isn't it? But yeah, when I do a reel, I sit there and listen to the song the whole time so that like I can catch the rhythm of it and stuff. And so, you know, it tends to mean that I've like listened to that song like a gazillion times by the time the reel is actually made. Yeah, this is not, I'm gonna put powder bronzer on and hopefully that kind of works out, but maybe that Bare Minerals is still a little bit dark. That is such like a finely milled powder. It's kind of reminding me of like the Westman Atelier one, except that it looks even better underneath my eyes than that one did. Brightening, a little tiny bit of opacity, you know, coverage, quote unquote. Yes, my earring is going to hang like that for the rest of the video. I didn't catch it until way later. So if you're new here, this is not my typical, where I would land on my complexion routine. I'm going to share with y'all the ways that I kind of build the color back in so that we don't have this like very contrasty, obvious situation going on. But I wanted to show you all the blush kind of in its glory before I went in with all that other stuff. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go in with my LH Cosmetics bronzer. They didn't give me a bronzer. Is bronzer a big thing in K-beauty? That's a question that I do not know the answer to. So, I used to think it was bad filming videos and pulling out a bunch of makeup all at once for the videos. And then I started doing like short form content and like it's a million times worse. You just end up pulling out everything at one time. Okay, so thank you to the person who was like, look, I don't usually correct people on these things, but you keep calling this luminous, like the color is luminous. The color is all the way over here. The color is always. And so that's the lightest shade in this. I can't say enough about this bronzer. It's so pretty. If you're my skin twin, this is it. This is like, it disappears into your skin. Just the best color and great formula, but the best color of bronzer that I've found. It's so good. And we're gonna do a big bronzer swatching video, but I am mum on From Whomst, but there is a pretty big bronzer release, if not two, coming up in like the next couple of weeks. And so that's why I'm pushing it back, is because I am getting them in the mail from a couple of brands and I am on embargo until they're released. So that is why it hasn't happened yet. Baby, you're like lightning in a bottle. Okay, feeling a little bit better about that now that it's a little bit of normal bronze that I would typically have. I'm going to use some powder contour because everything is looking quite flat at the moment. It's always like the challenge of finding the thing and then also finding the brush that you like to put it on with. And things just falling all the time. It's like a rainforest, except instead of rain, it's products. People say they have emotional support chrome tabs. I have emotional support products all around me at all times. The hilarious part is I have two of them and I don't know where they are. Okay, I'm gonna grab this Sigma F40, which is a very similar shape, and it was nearby. And that's what we're going to be applying my Natasha Denona contour sculpting powder with. I like to work this into my hairline. It's not quite as good, but it shall do. Yeah, I'm looking very matte. I'm hoping that this setting spray that they gave me is going to is going to really like change the textures that we're working with, because I would like to see some dew. I want to do the dew today. Okay, I have two eyeshadow palettes here. This one is a 9-pan and this one's just the quad on the inside here. And let's swatch them because I have no idea what we're working with. Yeah, the shimmers are just always like the most subtle I've ever seen. All of these are, I mean, so subtle. You have to wonder, like, if that's the glitter, like, what else is in there that's just clear? And then we have Glitterpedia, Unleashia. Glitterpedia eyeshadow palette. I guess the brand is Unleashia. Ew, whoa. These glitters are creamy and interesting. Wow, wait. Okay, but like, I'm not sure that those really behave like eyeshadows. Like, they kind of behave like a, like a glitter you played with when you were a kid a little bit. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just like, doesn't feel like anything I'm used to touching. And I know, I don't know the price points. Some of these might be the equivalent of like, drugstore makeup, and I am like a snippety snob about those things. So these are beautiful. They're kind of like peachy leaning. I think I'm gonna mainly work in here because I think that, maybe I'll work in both because this one's got a nice peach in there too. But we're gonna really go for like the peachy pink of it all. I don't think we have any other option here. I'm gonna base my eyes with my primer potion because I wanna see if we can get like, a true look here. Y'all, I have been hot compressing my eye like every single day, just trying to get that thing to finally go away because I had like a sty, but it left behind this dumb little pocket. And it's like, I want to call like Dr. Pimple Popper and be like, hey, can you just come cut this thing out of my eye? That doesn't sound like a good idea, but regardless, I'm like doing my hot compress and like nothing happens here, but like Amelia arises out of this tear duct. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Just like little commentary from my lower lash line. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. All right, so I have a BK Travel 202 here, and we're just gonna start with this gorgeous peachy color right here. It is a true matte. This pinky peachy color right here is more shimmery, but like the shimmer is so subtle on all of these that like, I kind of feel like there's not a whole lot of limitations in that respect. Wow. Okay, that's sheer. Let's try this one. It's just interesting because a lot of times you'll see these kinds of colors in a pan in, you know, another brand's eyeshadow palette. And you like the NARS Summer Unrated, I end up using that palette in a way that's like, I only use like the lightest colors and they still have so much impact. Like that right there is like an eye contour shade on me because of just the way that it behaves once it's actually on the skin. It has so much more pigment than you think. And then this is like, it looks darker in the pan even than that, you know? And like, I don't know, some of these do. And like, I think that, yeah, look at that. It's just so, they're so subtle. But this is the one I'm gonna start with, is actually from over here. It's like the darkest shade, well, the second darkest shade, but I wanna reserve something for like drama if I want it. But almost like they're truer to the color in the pan than the other things that I have, because a lot of times, like a NARS palette totally freaks me out, you know? I just like start putting it on, I'm like, that's not what I thought was gonna happen, oh no. Yeah, these might be, you know, the equivalent of like K-Beauty drugstore, and that might be why they feel kind of low pigment, you know? Not that drugstore is bad, it's just like, it, you know, there's kind of a way that drugstore stuff, you expect it to behave. Feeling kind of, you know, PYT-esque, which we haven't touched PYT since the rebrand. Should we? Like the best performing video I've had in a long time was a drugstore video, which I think is really funny. It's like, I guess it attracts new eyes. Maybe we should do more drugstore content. We'll use this pink right here, but I want to use it on something a little bit smaller. So I'm going to use that on a 203 because we're kind of leaning in both ways on the pink and the peach. And that does show up, kind of. Maybe my eyes are just adjusting to it, you know? To the low pigment of it all. Interesting. And then we'll move into some textures and some drama. I'm just like trying to get the lay of the land here. Do you see how my nail color is like so inspirational though? As I'm working, I'm just like, oh, ooh, I want more of that color. I just hope that this isn't a case of, you know, people just like in my comments being like, you were supposed to like wet your brush or something. You know what I mean? Like just, I'm completely using them wrong. Like that happened to me with the Tom Ford quads one time. They were like, that's a wet to dry formula. And I was like, how the hell am I supposed to know that? How am I supposed to know that? Here is kind of a creamy, peachy white that they've got, you know, in there. And I'm just gonna use that to make sure everything's kind of set, I guess. I don't know, it's just what my brain's telling me to do. Okay, I need something smaller and we're going to build the crease a little bit. For anybody who's new here, this is the Angie Hot and Flashy A502. I tend to do the same shape on my eyes for all of my eye looks, just with different colors. And that is something that kind of bugs people, I think. But honestly, it's because I am always kind of working with the natural shadow and light and the contours and everything of my own eyes. And also, some people have said that it helps them because it helps you see kind of how different things behave, because I've taken out one large variable, which would be like a totally different shape, right? It's just like, if it's always the same shape, you can see how it performs a little bit more easily, video to video. So this is the deepest shade that's in this whole combo of palettes. Do a little stabby motion here, get that color to stick. They're very, very like soft in terms of the way that they blend. Little bit chalky, you know, like low pigment. I would not recommend to somebody with deep skin. And I know that like, I don't know, it's pretty difficult to talk about K-Beauty exclusively without talking about like the limited shade ranges and then getting into these conversations, you know, especially like not necessarily on my channel, but on some of the like larger Instagram accounts and stuff like that. People are like, Asian people don't have as many skin tones. It's like, that's not true. It's just not true, okay? And regardless, people live in Asia who aren't what you think of as Asian, you know? And so it's just like, that's just such like a lame excuse. And so I am kind of glad that there wasn't a complexion product included in here, but also these are verging on, you know, kind of my skin tone and lighter exclusively. But I'm getting something kind of nice. I think I'm making something happen here that's orange and the scents are lingering. My goodness, I smell like a peach ring. I smell like a peach ring. I like this eye better. Why do I like this eye better? I think it's because there's just more there. There we go. You know, I've actually gotten, it's not that I'm not enjoying myself, but I've gotten pretty spoiled lately with how fast a lot of the makeup I've been using is. Sitting here being like really, really tedious with a brush and a bunch of powder eyeshadows feels kind of old-fashioned almost, you know, because I've been working with like the Victoria Beckham eyewear and it just shoves out of the way the entire kind of like ardor of the first part of the process of just, you know, building these kinds of like illusions, and then you just get to skip to the fun part. But I do think that the illusion in this case being in these peaches and pinks is very, very pretty. I'm liking how it's turning out. They don't fall out very much, which is nice. I do like that. You know, there's not much to them, but they don't fall out. This color is like a color that I have to put on my eyeballs. It's this one right here, and I truly like can't put my finger on like what color it is because it's like almost my skin tone. Do you see that? It's like almost like a beigey rose color that like fits so well within my natural undertones that like it almost doesn't even show up. Isn't that wild? It's actually really cool. Like I would want that color in a single. Like I'm not sure that I would want it necessarily specifically in this formula. I'd probably want it to have a little more impact than that. But you just don't see that subtle of a color that often, you know, in like a single eyeshadow. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's so pretty. Ooh, once it all comes together, it's just so blended, you know? Took some time, but it was struggle-free. And I mean, there are so many of these little glitters and none of them really seems to be like much of anything, you know? Like those swatches are kind of hilarious. They're all kind of transparent. I don't really know where to go because these glitters totally freak me out. But I kind of feel like I can't not use one of those, but they do totally freak me out. There's that pink. I think it's that one, maybe, that's like this gold. And then there's like this one that does absolutely jack diddly, like nothing. So I also think I'm gonna have to go in on my like lower lash line with a white pen. Okay, a white pencil because I got foundation on there and it's not coming off, so I have to kind of like run with it. Okie dokie. Oh boy, this is gonna be one of those ones where I get all the comments, people being like, you used that wrong, because I have a feeling it's gonna go not how I expect. Okay. All right, party time. Excellent. Huh. Yeah, we're falling out. Just another new bad push, but you're just a line in a song. Y'all sure you missed me? Okay. I don't know how I feel about that. It looks kind of sick. You know what it looks like? It looks like those Valentino glitter pots that like Tati had such an obsession over, and so I bought one and I was like, this is so bad. It looks like some kind of glitter disease. Oh, nar. I don't like that. Oh. That looks so yucky. Ew. Okay. All right. We're gonna go into damage control. I think maybe if I just put like a softer glitter on top, maybe it'll kind of obscure it a little bit. I don't like it. Okay, yeah, that obscured it. Okay. It still looks kind of sick, but I think it's better. And if you're typing right now and you're blaming it on the weird knot in my eye, you're fired, okay? You're hidden. You're already gone. Okay, this is everywhere. It's everywhere. What am I gonna do about that? What am I gonna do about that? I have some tape. I think once I get eyeliner on and everything, it's gonna be fine, but the fallout underneath my eyes is a little bit annoying. Well, it took all my makeup off. And not the glitter. Oh, I guess I have to put more concealer on. So now you've been. Okay. So I probably just should have stopped short at that lovely shade that I had kind of on my lids. I'm gonna put that underneath also because I like it so very much. And the glitters can take a proverbial hike because I'm not a fan. And they're gonna be in everything forever now. I'm gonna take a little bit of my Victoria Beckham light bronzer here and just use that to kind of obscure and sweep anything away if I can get away with that. Oh, I don't know if I can. And then I'm gonna use Hindash color fluid. No, I'm not. I have an eyeliner. That's right, they gave me an eyeliner. So we're gonna use this eyeliner in black, which is not something that I would typically do. And we're going to eyeline my eye lines. And then I'm going to put on a mascara. We're gonna use 101 Long Black, I guess, if that works. And if not, then I'm going in with the Life Proof one, the Super Proof one. Ooh, although like, oh cute, huh? They actually have a thing on here where you can write the date that you opened it, but I love the component. Ooh, it's so sleek. And yeah, I'm gonna do my eyeliner and, you know, just a little bit of mascara and brows and everything like that. And I'll report back and then we'll do some setting mist and pick a lip, I guess. Well, that's definitely a vibe. Those mascaras are virtually identical in performance. They build really slowly. Maybe as they mature in the tube, they would start to become more different from each other, but they are both just mainly lengthening. And they do a great job of it, but like my lashes are skinny legends right now. We're not getting a lot of girth. Let's let this dry for a sec. I think that they're pretty dry. And we're gonna talk about this Frutia R.E. Proust Perfect Shield Makeup Setting Fixer. We shall see if Setting Fixer has a dewy finish or a matte finish. Oh, long-lasting dewy finish. Love to see it. Cool, cool, cool. Okay. Come on, dewy finish. Hello? Oh my God, I love the smell. It smells like a luxury hotel. What is in that? I will never know. I'm the worst. But like the packaging, the smell, if it's actually a long-lasting dewy finish, ew, I like this experience. I want to smell like this all the time. It's like a woody perfume, but like not super cedary. It's kind of like a blonde wood kind of smell. It smells like, I don't know, what I would expect like Santal 26 or whatever it is to smell like, because I don't know. I've never smelled a lava before. But another thing that I noticed about the mascara is that like something about the way the brush and the formula either interact or disagree makes the mascara kind of flick everywhere while you're putting it on. Like it's not that I touched the brush to my skin, it's that as I was putting it on, it would like kind of glide on my lashes and then go click, and then it would, you know, kind of like spray mascara everywhere. Not ideal, not my idea of fun, but let's choose a lip real quick and then we will get into my final thoughts on these. I'm gonna use Picante. I finally fell in love with Picante from VB. It was just creamier in color than I expected it to be. But it's like the same color as my nails. So it's just the mood I've been in. Okay, is that everything? I feel like that is everything. We put everything on my face. We did it. We did it, y'all. Let's chat through the products themselves, shall we? So the first thing that I put on was that SPF that is long gone. It's long gone. I don't know where it went. I just know that that smell really offended my senses, and so I would probably pick something else over that. Now, I've tried the Centella, the Madagascar Centella, the other ones, and I like them very much. Like, it was just that particular one. So, you know, not a referendum on the brand itself. And I mean, most of the really great sunscreens that I've really enjoyed that my skin hasn't had any complaints about lately have come from Stylovana. So, you know, that's a plus. It's just that one didn't particularly like please me more than the others. The primer. If y'all are looking for something that like really adds kind of a tenacious level of dew to the skin, this is pretty good. And it's not gonna have that Auric Glow Lust kind of visible glow. It's a little bit more subtle than that, so it's giving a little bit of more gel serum, but it's very, very noticeable on the skin. Like it builds this like kind of dewy barrier in a very strange way, but it's very scented. That's not the last time I'm going to say that about these, but yeah, I think it's pretty cool. I liked it. I think that it did something really nice for my makeup. You know, I feel like my skin looks more supple. It felt more supple as things were going on, and I felt like it gripped it a little bit. So let me know y'all's thoughts on any of these products in the comments, like people who've had more experience with them, because a primer, it's like, I like the experience of it, but I can't really speak to it like day on day on day. It's like, you know, is it gonna make my makeup last or whatever? But I like how it looks. I think it's very pretty. And you know, the scent, I can't even tell really if it lingered because there were so many things that were peach scented. It could have been anything. The powder, I actually really liked it. It's cute, kind of, you know, velvety on the skin. I think that it's like a very good setting powder for people who do have dry skin. It does smell like frickin' peaches. I mean, they warned us. There's literally like a peach on it, even though you can't see it because it's covered up with this sticker. And if y'all don't know, I'm phobic of stickers. And so like I started to take it off and then this happened, which is actually my worst nightmare. And so I just stopped because I didn't want to crawl out of my skin or throw up. So it's a good powder. I would use it again, honestly. Like I like what it did, but it is peach scented. And the blushes. Okay, so I think again, you know, I'm not the fairest person in the world, I'm not the palest person in the world, but I still think that it is a stretch calling these blushes. Okay? Okay? Like I'm glad that they exist for someone who is like very, very pale. And maybe it's kind of a vibe for people to wear a blush that's like in stark pastel contrast, like lighter than their skin. That's not my vibe really. And they really just read like different temperature tones of a setting powder on me. Like I think that they were fine, but like not for the blush needs that I have, mama. So I might keep them around just because they're good for like blending things into each other kind of thing. I just don't have anything like that in my collection, you know? They're pretty cool in that respect, but they're definitely weird. They're definitely like not a blush as I think of the blush category. You know what I mean? Like I hesitate to use the word weird, but it's like you're calling it a blush and it's not. I don't think it's a blush. Like I think it is kind of a setting powder, you know? So like by color. So anyway, yeah, I'm not mad at those, but they're a little bit unexpected. And then this, you know, surprisingly great, strange delivery system to be, you know, on like a little nail polish bottle. Feels a little bit juvenile, you know? I think that, you know, a lot of this stuff kind of does. It might, like I said, it might be kind of like K-beauty drugstore, but the performance of this was exquisite. It worked really, really beautifully, and I love the finish that it left on my skin. Again, this is the Juicy Pang Blusher in Apiu. I think. There are words. I'm categorizing them in my own head, and that is what I think makes the most sense. But yeah, I think that this is really cute, and I liked the way it worked, and it really kind of saved the day in terms of getting visible blush on my cheeks after those kind of just, you know, blurred my pores. Eyeshadows. What a roller coaster the eyeshadows were. So the big takeaway here is like low pigment, but easy to work with, which is a lot of how I would describe drugstore eyeshadows. Consistent, at least, you know what I mean? Like every kind of like light shade in each of these behaved the same way, built really, really slowly in a lovely way. And I actually really love what I achieved, but the glitter is kind of gross. I don't like the consistency of the glitter. It looks like craft glitter. The pretty pretty color. The color is pretty, and I think that that's what's saving it, is that it's like, you know, kind of pulling off this like peachy thing. There's like a peachy gold, but the actual texture of those glitters in this little palette is yucky. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's not my thing. And I truly think that it's like a preference thing. I think that some people probably would be thrilled by it, but it is just not for me. I kind of panicked, but like if I could have one, I'm really like, my feelings on these things span the entire spectrum of love versus dislike, because like this color right here, I would own in a single. Like, it's just so good. And even the formula, like I think that the weird thing about these is that they feel like they're not committing on the skin. It feels like they're not sticking, but there's not really any fallout except for like those, you know, really chaotic glitters. I think that that was why I said I would, you know, maybe not want this particular formula in a single, but like the way that it ended up behaving, I actually really liked it. Just very interesting, very unexpected. That eyeliner, I don't know if y'all saw me say it, but like I didn't like interacting with it. Like, I made it work, but if you like a Victoria Beckham satin kajal liner, this is the opposite. It grabs so hard. It grabs so hard, and trying to get it to move around made me feel like I was aging my eyes with a brush. It probably means that it's going to wear a really long time because it's literally like motor oil based, but it was wild. It was like, yeah. And that's my review on that eyeliner. And y'all got my review on the mascaras. I mean, you can see, like, right? They're just really, my eyelashes are really long. They just look really long right now instead of thick. And I understand also that the prevailing need in terms of the typical K-beauty customer or J-beauty customer is a lightweight mascara that's going to hold curl. And that is the chief complaint about a lot of the mascaras that I like, my tubing mascaras, is that the tubing mascaras I use tend to kind of make curl fall. And so these are quick drying, lightweight, and lengthening. And again, this was the Kill Lash Superproof Mascara Volume Curling and the Hun All Fix Mascara L01 Long Black. So I would say that these are kind of interchangeable in my mind in terms of how the formula performed. Like I said, they might mature in the tube over time and become different from each other, but on first blanch, they were pretty like indistinguishable from one another. Oh my God, trying to wash these off. I was voice memoing Amanda Z because she has more experience with K-beauty than I do. I was like, I'm gonna pull all my eyelashes out. And she's like, sometimes they require you to have their specific mascara eye makeup remover, and otherwise it won't come off for anything. And I was like, well, that's not fair. I don't recommend these, y'all. Like, it took all sorts of different eye makeup removers and oils and things like that to like work it off my lashes. I will never put those on again. And last but not least, honestly, the thing that might be making it to top shelf for me is the setting mist. Look at the finish on my skin, and look at the package. It's so pretty. It like the lid has this like kind of terrazzo thing going on. And then the smell, I don't usually like care for a smell in a setting mist, but this really smells like someone has taught me luxury is supposed to smell, because I pay a lot for a hotel room, and this is what the hotel room smells like. So yeah, I mean, I'm not much of a like full encapsulation of this was great or this was bad kind of person as far as like first impressions are concerned, but like I think that despite things not being exactly what I expected, we ended up with something quite beautiful that I will be happy to wear for the rest of the day. So I hope that this was enjoyable for y'all. If it was, Stylovana is amazingly generous and is always asking if, you know, I want to try more things. So especially if y'all have specific products that you want me to try, then let me know, because I can request them from them and I will be happy to do another video like this. So thank you to Stylovana for being so generous with giving me these products so that I could try them for y'all. And thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed this, please do give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already, if you enjoyed this, and I'll put a video up here that I think that you will enjoy if you liked this one. I love y'all so much, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye.